first and foremost, Sparty. It's been a while. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. It's been a very long time since we've played some games, so I'm glad we have the opportunity today. We're going to be playing Predator AG. AG for Alan Greenspun, the designer. It's one of the OG Tiger Woods courses from back in the day. And we're going to try to do a best ball. I forget how difficult it is. Let's say best ball break 65. It might be break 70. But I feel like best ball, one of us might be able to play conservative or something like that. We're also playing on pro swing, so it gives us a little
Okay.
bit extra chance too, if that works for you. I think we're
Yeah.
on the same tees. It's showing white tees, pin 4. If that's what it's showing for you. I'll hit ready. Um,
Yes. Yep.
Sweet. But what's new in your neck of the woods? You still where are you, up in New York still?
Yep. Still in Syracuse area. Couple job changes between the last time we've played. I'm no longer in the golf industry. Went and worked construction for a year. And now I'm actually a private investigator. So
So cool.
quite the change.
I'm gonna dial your volume just down a touch here, but I think we're good. That is the note for anyone watching. I did just touch his volume down a touch. Um, and what led you to that career path? Like that, I feel like is such a cool. All right, we can't go for it here, so this is just a strictly layup, so it should be pretty simple. Um, is a pretty monumental change, is it not? Or that always like was that in the back of your mind as an option?
Never. So I went to college for sports management.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Enjoyed my time in the golf industry, but it was just getting to the point where I was burnt out. I wasn't able to enjoy the game of golf anymore.
Yep.
Um,
And that's because you were going for the PATs and it was skill based, where it was a large
yeah,
portion of where you were trying to go, like, because you wanted to be like a tour pro type of thing. Or what is the
like
classification like when you get that?
so it would be a PGA professional. I was more so wanted to do like the business side. I didn't want to be your Michael Blocky out there playing. I did
Sure.
not have the skill for that. I really didn't even want to get into teaching
Uh
that
huh.
much. I was the tournament coordinator, and I loved doing that tournament coordination and also Turning Stone being a resort. We offered a lot of the same amenities you get in tournaments
That was an
to,
interesting spin. And now I'm
yeah,
getting fisted in the bunker. This might be break 70, Sparty.
yeah.
These greens could be treacherous. Sorry, go ahead.
So we would do a lot of those same amenities for um golf groups, your guys trips coming up to Turning Stone,
Okay.
bachelor parties. um and it just got to the point where I was working 50, 60 hours a week and not able to play golf and not able to enjoy the game. Oh, okay.
Goodness gracious.
Wow. um so it was just a change that I needed.
So even
And
outside of the actual like becoming the PGA professional, like the day to day of your job was already just wearing on you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then like, I enjoyed the golf season, but as you're aware, in being in the Northeast as well, the golf season is not nearly long enough. And during the off season, I would go to the golf dome, which we were very fortunate to have. And but at that point, I was basically just a retail worker working behind the counter of a golf superstore indoor range. and I hated it. I
Okay.
hated the winters.
Yeah.
So I went
I can only
and
imagine it's
worked.
that much worse too in Syracuse.
Yeah, it's just, I mean,
Do you-
November to I mean, I played in a tournament yesterday, and it was the feels like was 35 degrees at tee
oh,
off.
goodness
So,
gracious.
um, went work construction. I knew that was just kind of a temporary thing while I applied some different places. And my brother is a criminal defense attorney, and the private investigator that he uses was looking to expand. Um, and I started out with just kind of doing it on the side, doing it part time. He'd give me a couple cases to work on here and there, and I would do that. And then it that went on for probably like 6 months, and then he was like, "All right, I've got the caseload. I'm ready to fully expand." It went from just him to him and me, so I'm only employee number two of the company, and it's really been enjoyable. It's something a little different every day,
Now,
whether
are you
it's
a lot behind the computer, or are you a lot like just all over the place? Just it could be anything on any given day.
yeah, I do. So a lot of my job, because a lot of the stuff we do is for criminal defense attorneys.
Okay.
Um, so a lot of it is going through discovery, whether that is body cam footage or jail calls, something I was working on last week. Um, or I also do process serving, so I'm out there knocking on doors, delivering subpoenas and divorce papers. Is this tree going to be
Yeah, that's going to be
in the way
important.
here?
You might need some sort of a punch or something, I think. That's pretty wild. Have you had any like shady interactions really, or has it been all pretty much civil at this point?
um I've had a couple of bad interactions. Where I I call myself, I can be a human punching bag. You can yell at me all you want, like it just bounces right off me. It
Sure.
doesn't affect me at all. I know that they're displacing their anger on me because I'm the one that delivers it to them, but I'm not the one that's serving them. I'm
Right.
not the one
Yeah.
that filed divorce papers against them or
Sure.
that are bringing them to court.
Mm-hmm.
So I smile and I take it, and you know, I just
That's the
walk
right
away if I
attitude.
have to. Yeah. Um, I've had a few really funny interactions. I had one guy last fall who I was trying to find a lady um to serve her some family court stuff. We didn't have a updated address, so I was going to a couple of her outdated addresses, kind of figuring that they wouldn't be accurate,
Yeah.
but giving them a chance anyways. And this one guy came to the door and was like, "Oh no, like, that sounds like the person, not that I didn't buy it from the house from, but lived here before the people that I bought it from." And like wanted to know all about my job, and he was like, "I actually am about to be served divorce papers, so you might be coming back out here, and that's actually what I thought this was for." And like just
He was waiting
just
on a
hilarious.
different
Yeah.
divorce. As long as you can two putt this, we'll be okay. Just get us in with a par or one. Okay,
Oh,
all right.
I gave it wrong.
That's pretty funny. But so like, do you feel solidified in your spot right now? Like I know it's still relatively new and you enjoy it, but like you don't see any other near term changes.
No, I really enjoy it, and I think my boss tells me I'm doing a good job, and attorneys that I work with, that I do work for, they seem to like the work that I do, and so I definitely think I'm okay. Wow, a little closer than
Almost
that
live.
needed to
Yeah.
be. Um, so I think I'm definitely right where I'm gonna be for a very long time, and he's got a couple of kids in the high school range. And he wants to, once they kind of get out of the house, move down to Florida and maybe work more so down there, but keep business up here. So hopefully, if I keep it up, I can just kind of take over in the
Oh
New York
yeah.
office, and
I was gonna say
he
you
can
could
run
move down
things
there
down
with
there.
him, get a heck of a lot more
Yeah,
golf in.
I would love that, but I mean, that was part of the job move. When I my last 2 years, my last year at Turning Stone and then the year of construction, I posted like, I want to say like 57 times to my gin,
Damn.
which is pretty much all of my rounds.
Yep.
Um, I didn't play too many scrambles or anything, and last year I posted like 53 rounds. And that doesn't even include member guest that I played in, um, just because of that being best ball, picking up sometimes, and then also the all of the guys in the office pretty much play golf. Um,
I shouldn't have done that shot type, but hey, might work.
uh, um, so they play in a lot of scrambles, and uh not to sound cocky or anything, I'm far and away the best golfer in the office.
Sure.
So I get told that I'm playing in a lot of scramble, which, hey, a free day of golf on the golf course with my drinks paid for and everything, I can't do too much complaining.
Yeah. Sign me up for that. 10 days out of 10. Nice
Yeah,
bird. That's a clutch
thank
bird
you.
here, Sparty. All right. That's sweet. Now is there any part of the golf that you miss the old job?
So I get asked this a lot. I still go back to Turning Stone, whether it's to hit golf balls during the winter, or they have such a great practice facility
Yeah.
that I've gone there a couple times this spring to kind of work on some stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'll see some of the guys that I used to work with, and they're like, "Do you miss it? Do whatever?" And I always have the same answer. I miss the people.
Sure.
Whether it was the people that I worked with, but also working with some of the group contacts that I did, was a really good time, and I really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Totally.
the actual work, I definitely don't miss the long days at the golf course where I'm watching everyone else play in beautiful weather while I'm
Right.
sitting inside.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like almost a tease at that point.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna try the same line as you. Um, now, did you learn a lot about like were you fitting people and doing all that stuff? Like, were you like a club guru and everything? Because I have plenty of club questions for you because I'm trying to refit my bag currently.
So I hadn't gotten to that part yet.
Okay.
I did take the PAT several times, and I did shoot a qualifying score to start my book work, but at that point I kind of decided that it just wasn't for me. Um, and I had started to get into the club fitting a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
very minimally outside of like fitting myself for stuff.
Okay. Did it seem to you like I feel like finding the right clubs, right? Like I spent a lot of time with a coach last year, and my game is significantly improved. Um, in my swing especially, and towards the end of last year I was like, okay, I feel like it's at a good place where I'm confident with it. That, like, I didn't want to do a fitting before I was changing my swing, because
Yeah.
I'm like, let's change my swing to where I'm comfortable, and then once I'm comfortable, let's do a fitting. And then I ended up getting fitted, got some irons, ended up with Strixons, but it was purely because they felt better. Like, it was all like a feel thing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like most of the metrics, whether it's TaylorMade, whether it's Titleist, Cobra, Ping, Strixon, doesn't really matter what it is. This is my understanding, anyways. The 95% of it is feel, look, and, like, at least for the irons. Does that relatively track?
Yeah. So honestly, in the
Maybe it's
same
my skill level too, because I'm a 15 handicap now.
in the same iron head category, whether it, the game improvement, the player's distance, the technology is so close at this point in time where you're gonna see the best results with with the correct shaft.
Got it.
So
And I think he
like
was matching me with the right shaft. Like, he was trying different weights in the shafts too, and everything, like X amount of grams here or there, heavier. And I'm like, this one definitely feels better. And then we went to, like, the heads and everything, and I think he was going apples to apples as far as comps. So, like, whatever the level of, TaylorMade, it was the same level of Callaway as it was Strixon or whatever.
yeah. So that's a good fitter will. Oh, that got a big bounce. Overswung that a little bit. A good fitter will definitely fit you into your head first, and then give you a bunch of different shaft options, one
Mm-hmm.
to kind of narrow it down. But like you said, the look is a big thing. I personally don't like a lot of offset. Oh, good
Yeah.
run. I don't like a lot of offset. I like a thing top line. I'm actually was talking to my buddy the other day who took my position, um, and um,
Nice putt.
thank you. Fit me. I got fit for a new driver this winter. It was my driver was 6 years old at that point, and I went in and said, I want whatever I hit best. I'm not brand specific anymore. Ended up with the QI35.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And
that's all
that's
fairway.
more or less how I was. I was like, I'm going in with a complete open mind. Like, for whatever reason, I was leaning TaylorMade, but that was strictly because that had been what I was playing, and I felt like I was more likely to play better. But I'm like, I just want what is best for me. Like, I don't want to be brand loyal to anything. Like, I at my skill level, I need what is best for me. And for whatever reason, the
Yeah.
Strixons, I was just super, super dialed in on. And I
And
tried a dozen brands, maybe not a dozen, but, like, it seemed like a dozen, maybe like 8, 9 brands.
yeah. And I mean, I'm absolutely what you call a golf nerd. I live on the golf Reddit page, Golf WRX, and I think Strixon is probably one of, if not the most underrated iron brands. It just seems like they're really blowing up as of late, especially, and just
I was, like,
let's see.
shocked. I was like, I couldn't even believe it. Like, I know a few pros that play it, like Brooks and Lowry, and I think Matsuyama. But it's not, like, overwhelmingly popular like Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist. Like, those are
Yeah,
the three big hitters, right?
yeah,
And I was just purely expecting to hit those best. And I almost, like, was doing it blindly. Like, I didn't know. I was trying to not even look at the club when he handed it to me, so I would, like, hopefully not swing different or something.
that is
Um,
such a good way to go into a fitting, because there's so many people that will go in and be like, I want the tailor-made P790s, and in the back of their head, they're gonna try everything in their power to make sure the P790s feel the
Right.
best and play the best.
Mm.
And like, honestly, when I went for my driver fitting, I said, whatever brand I hit the best, I hit the best. It is what it is. I will say the only caveat that I had was I did not want to get fit into the ping, only because Turning Stone does a value added program that ping does not participate in. Um, so I got a round of golf with my driver.
Oh, okay.
Which, $125 round of golf just for buying a driver that I was going to buy anyways. For me, it's worth it to not even take ping into question, in my
Sure.
opinion.
Yeah.
But it came down to the QI35 and
Oh, no.
surprisingly enough for me, the Titleist GTR2, which when I was at Turning Stone, I was able to try every club I ever wanted, and I never hit the Titleist woods well.
Mm-hmm.
Never. So
Sorry, this hole's all on you, bro. This is gonna fall off again. Go ahead. Sorry.
no worries. So I for that to be one of the two finalists was really surprising. But I seem to have the QI35, the dispersion was a little bit better, and the spring rate, which was my big thing. My Cobra F9, I was spinning at 4,500 RPMs, which I don't know if you know much about. Spin rate is absolutely terrible
Yeah,
for a
super
driver.
high. Yeah, you want like
Yeah,
sub 3,000 ideally, right?
yeah,
Yeah. All right, make sure you don't go off the green. Oh. Oh, and you bury it. Oh my god. Missed a
we
clutch over
got
here. All
this.
right, 65 is sub 65 is the goal. This is the third episode now. I feel like we've on every single episode. I just don't know what to expect, so I change our goal like 5 6 holes in. But 65
Yeah.
is are going to be our goal because this has been very difficult thus far. But you're holding the team together. Um, yeah, that's pretty sweet. I actually, so I did a driver fitting as well and wood fittings, and believe it or not, I hit my own driver best at the time. I actually did switch and buy my friend's driver since this year because I was hitting his better, his old driver. Um, but like, yeah, it's so much feel. I guess the original question that led us down this path that I was going to ask you about is I've had my wedges for years. I have nice Cleveland wedges that I love. They're CG16s or something like that. Whatever it is. Now, I don't play like a lot, but I mean, I've had these for probably a decade at this point. So I feel in I'm also a 15 16 handicap, so like I don't know how much it really matters to have new grooves and everything, but I was also trying to maybe switch my loft from a 5660 to a 5458, I think. But does new grooves mean a lot, do you think, at my handicap and skill level?
Yeah, I mean, so the people that say, get new wedges every 2 3 years, I think that would be a little excessive for you, and I mean especially for me as well, being
Mm-hmm.
a 10 handicap. Um, but I think a decade is probably you're at that point where some new grooves would probably do you some good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Now talking about a wedge fitting,
Yes.
my personal opinion would be if you can do a wedge fitting on grass, it is absolutely worth it. I do not think a wedge fitting at like a Golf Galaxy where you're hitting on a TrackMan and on on turf or on just a
Mat, yeah.
hitting mat. I don't see how that is that helpful.
So yeah, that's kind of what I was going to ask because I feel like I know I want a high bounce 54 and a low bounce 58 because I have a high bounce 56 that I typically play out of the sand currently, and I'm used to it and I like it. And the reason I'm leaning towards the lower degree is I don't really play them on approaches all that much, but I want to work towards that. Like anything, I'd say 60 to like 110 right now. I'm using a flighted pitching wedge. Like my full pitching wedge is like 125, but I just have a great feel for my pitching wedge. And I feel like it would just benefit me more if I start actually using my, more lofted wedges. And I'm also trying to navigate a club gap because I'm adding like a wood at the top of my bag. So I think I'm removing my 52. So by moving the, you know, 56 down to a 54 and so on, like I think it helps navigate that distance gap. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're going. Well, here's the big question. First and foremost is what is your pitching wedge loft?
Let me get that for you. I think it's 45, but I need to check. I also had it came with my Strixon set an approach wedge. So right now I'm doubled up. I have an approach wedge and a 52, so I'm getting rid of one of them. I just don't know which one. I kind of like the look and feel actually of my old Clevelands, and that's part of the reason I haven't been like top of the priority list of getting new wedges. Is like I've always liked them, but they're really old, and I'm like it's a combination of getting new grooves and possibly better navigating a yardage gap.
Yeah. So like I'll talk about my setup. I've got the Mizuno MP20 MMC. So my pitching wedge is 44 degrees.
Okay.
So I go 44 with my pitching, and then I have a 50 degree, 56 degree, and 60 degree. And it works out really well
Say
where
that one more time, just because I lost you there.
so my pitching wedge is 44 degrees, and then I go 50 degree T20 wedge, 56
Got it.
degree
Okay.
T20 wedge, and 60 degree T20 wedge.
So yeah, I would have yeah. So you would have three wedges after your pitching wedge. So approach, sand, and like a lob wedge type thing.
Yep.
And I think that's what I'm trying to do. Either that or potential. Yeah. No, it would be that. It would
So
be exactly
yeah,
that.
so you right now you go pitching wedge, approach wedge,
Oh, I have
attack wedge.
43 degree.
Okay, so
So my
yeah.
approach wedge right now is a 49 that came with my Strixon set, and I could certainly lean more on that. But if that's 49, I feel like the gap is probably better to be at 54, right?
Yeah, so you want your wedge gap in to be anywhere from like 4 to 6 degrees typically.
Okay. Yeah, so 6 on the high end would be 55 degrees, 4 in the
Yep.
low end would be 53, so 54 seems about right.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, that kind of tracks with my mindset. So I'll likely keep my approach wedge for now, even though I'm a little. That's probably gonna be short. Can't hit my tempos in this game. Oh, get up on there. All right, what button?
You got to putt at it.
This doesn't come back.
Oh.
Okay. And now, like, what are you doing? How frequent are you using? Like, do you have a go-to wedge, or are you pretty much using all of them quite a bit?
Um,
Let's say you're 50, or what do you typically hit your pitching wedge full?
so right now I'm battling some stuff right now. And I really I've been talking to my buddy, and we're going to the range hopefully within the next couple weeks. And I need to get more distance
Hmm.
out of my irons and wedges. So I will hope I'm right now my pitching wedge is like 120 yards.
Okay.
Um
So I guess
and
my question would be, and not to cut you off there, but ultimately what I was going to ask, like let's say 50 to 90 yards, what would you use? But go ahead on your train of thought first.
push that. Damn. So 50 yards, depending on the circumstance, would be my like 80% 60-degree wedge. And
Okay.
then anywhere from like 60 yards to 80 yards, I am comfortable with my 56-degree wedge.
Okay.
And then kind of 85 and up, I will try and flight something with my 50-degree wedge.
Okay. So
Is is kind
you're
of where
using
I'm
them
at.
all pretty much
Yeah.
yardage dependent. You're not leaning heavily on one that you would say. It's very yardage based, and the closer you get, you're probably using a more lofted club. I mean, in principle, that makes a ton of sense. It's just I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if you leaned heavily in that like any wedge goes range almost. You know what I mean? Like it's just more. I feel anyways like what you're confident in.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. Yeah, so I mean, I'd like to get to that. Like right now, I'm using my pitching wedge for everything. Maybe I'll start by using my approach wedge more because I know that's staying in my bag. And ultimately, circling back to actually getting the new wedges, like if I've already kind of predetermined that at least in my mind a 54, 58 is the combo that I'm getting, high bounce, low bounce respectively. Um, is it largely just look and feel again? You would say,
Yeah.
similar to irons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You gotta like what you're looking down at,
yeah,
especially with your wedges. Your scoring clubs really. When you want to hit them tight to the pin. Um, and I think wedges are the easiest club to go pull something off the rack and learn how to hit.
okay.
Uh, I have my brother who is my golf partner these days. Did you do a punch shot?
I
That
did. That tree scared me a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
my contact and whatever the other one is not great on punch, so I missed my spots. But
Um, who has gotten more into the game over the last year or so. Ooh,
sit, sit.
come on back, little.
Just give him a putt. This one might be the one that might be a green that's a pain in the ass. But go ahead.
Um, who's gotten more into the game of golf the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
He added a 56-degree a couple year might have been last year. That I just kind of told him to get. It was just a Mizuno T20 standard loft or a standard bounce, and he's done really well with that club. And he's a 23 handicap, 22 handicap.
Sure. It seems like a as long as like you're having the right degree and um bounce and having a general sense of what you would use them for, that you could just make any wedge type work. So like yeah, it seems more visual than anything, but it's good to hear that that kind of tracks too.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, being a 10 handicap like me, or a 15, 16 handicap like yourself, uh, what's a wedge fitting really gonna do that much.
Oh, dear.
So
Oh dear. This could be problematic. Oh no.
it just keeps going.
All right, that's good to know. I'm gonna. I might just like go in and like look at them and grab a couple off the shelf, hit them if they feel good, whatever. Maybe just end up going with it. But I think it's. Well, I'll probably end up going a few times. Knowing me, I like to. I do like
You're
to
like
impulse
me.
buy,
You
but
like to
like
shop.
I like to shop. I like to impulse buy, but for golf stuff, I really like to take my time.
Yeah.
Um, Especially on a big purchase like this.
Yep.
Well, I mean, big purchase. I mean, in the grand scheme of the bag, the wedge isn't all that big, but in theory, I'll have it for a decade. So, I guess in that sense, it's a very big purchase. But yeah, not. I don't expect. I shot my low round ever this year, 82. So that was a
Nice.
huge feat. Um, like my swing has progressed a lot, and I'm just like I'm itching to get out there as much as possible, but I know probably by the end of the year it's going to only be 15, 20 times.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I might try to take some days off and sneak out there while everyone's busy, like kids are at school and my wife's working or whatever.
Yep.
um, that tends to be a good method, but
Uh,
hopefully that lip doesn't come into play. Now, are you traveling at all for golf this year?
um, I I didn't talk to my buddy. I don't know if we ended up booking stuff. And we I was planning on going to Connecticut for the Travelers and getting a round of golfing with him. Because I
Is
haven't
this not
played.
open? Okay, good. Go ahead.
I haven't played with him since he moved down to North Carolina a few years ago. So hopefully be able to do that. I know we had talked about maybe meeting up in Mass to play, but other than that, probably. Oh, and then my bachelor party in September, we're going to Philadelphia, so we're going to try and get a couple rounds in down there. If you or anyone has any course recommendations.
Potentially, I'm
Uh,
going to Baltimore for a bachelor party in September, and we're going specifically for a couple golf courses. I don't know how close they'll be, but that's sweet. And congrats! I didn't even know you were engaged. So, when's the wedding?
yes. May 30th of next year.
All right, so
So we just hit the year mark,
happy
and
negative 1 year anniversary.
thank you. So, yep, excited. Got engaged out in East Lansing
Oh, there you go.
at the Michigan State game the Michigan State opener last year. Um, so very excited for that.
Nice.
Thankfully, I have a very understanding fiance who lets me still play golf. 4 to 6 times a week.
4 to 6. Hello. That's a keeper.
Yeah, it's see, I played last. Oh God. So we'll go Memorial Day weekend. I played Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday was we had concert tickets. Come on down. Come back. Come
Nah,
back.
Kristen.
Concert tickets for Avril Lavigne, which was my Christmas present to see Simple Plan. And then I played Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, off today. I'll play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday again. So
Good for you. You played
we
18 all these days?
18 most of the days. This is a
Yeah, it's a doozy of a putt.
um 18 most of the days. Last Tuesday, I was subbing for a league, so it was only 9, and then Thursday is the league I'm in, so that's only 9. Okay.
Nicely done.
But like tomorrow, if I can find someone to play with, I'll play 18. If not, it's been cold, so I haven't done as much range work as I typically like.
Hmm.
And so I would just do a nice long range session to kind of try and work out some things.
That's so awesome. That's I wish I was so dedicated to the game like early on. Like I didn't really get dedicated until I would say COVID time. And by then I was, getting married and then the past few years had 2 kids now. It's just, a whirlwind moving and buying a house and like all these different things. So just like I'm fast forward like 7-8 years on the timeline from you. So, and I was not nearly as dedicated back then. I loved the game, but I was just like so much more casual about it. I didn't take lessons. Like I think lessons was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah.
And um, that's awesome that you can just like get out there and play as much as you want and keep trying to improve too. Are you considering doing any lessons? You said you were going to work with a buddy on your swing.
Yeah, not so much lessons because I really
Yep.
feel like I have
Kickball.
hit a good
Yes.
bounce. Nice.
Sit.
Now slow down.
Lights on.
Um,
Okay.
I feel like my swing is very solid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, where I don't need too much work done, but I just got to fine tune some things. For the last like 3 years now, getting off the tee. Ah,
It's all
push
right.
that open. Getting off the tee has been my absolute torture
Yeah.
chamber.
Yeah. Oh, this
And
game
has
is
cost
fucking
me
nightmare.
so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and ironically, that was the biggest thing for me, getting off the tee. Like, I just couldn't do it, and I also couldn't hit, like, I like, went to the guy last year, and my swing coach, and I told him, I'm like, distance truly is my issue. Like, I can figure out accuracy, and, like, and then he steered me towards swing plane, and, like, all these different things, and, like, I finally started to hit the ball a little bit better, and I'm like, it's still distance because like I was playing like a driver like 180, 190 off the tee, and it was relatively controlled, and like yeah, my swing plane and all these things weren't like that great, but like I could at least play and be in play. But every par 4 turned into a par 5, and every par 5 felt like a par 6 when you're playing at those distances. And then
Yeah.
finally, like a few things clicked, and now I'm like, I can potentially hit my driver up to 250 plus, and I can hit woods like 200 plus, and like, and I didn't want to play at the children's tees. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to play at like a respectable tee. Um, that like, I mean, yes, I'm an amateur. Like, I don't expect to be Tiger Woods by any means, but I'm relatively athletic too, so it's, I mean, relative, right? Like I just see like these huge unathletic people that are able to bomb the ball 300, and I'm sitting here struggling to hit it over 200. Like something is wrong. And now it's like, okay, yeah, I would like to up my swing speed a little bit more and be able to hit closer to 270, 280, but like at this point, I'm so much more controlled, relaxed, and I have that plane, and it makes it possible to play. But yeah, if you are struggling off the tee, it stinks because like, um, you know, it's just such a defeating feeling.
Yeah, and I mean like it's to the point where I mean 2 years ago was the absolute worst. It got better kind of towards the second half of last year, and it's kind of hit or miss this year so far.
Mm-hmm.
When you're going driver, and then you've got to punch out,
Yeah.
and then you're putting it to, I'm a pretty good wedge player, so putting it to 15, 20 feet, and then you're two putting from there, and you're making these bogeys, and you're like, if I could just find a fairway, I could get back to 3 years ago.
Damn.
I ended the year as a 7.5 handicap. Last year, I ballooned up to a 14. This year, I got down to a 9.6, and I'm back up to an 11.3. And it's just, if I could get off the tee, I would be right back to single digits. And it's frustrating because I have those expectations
Shit.
of myself now,
Beautiful. Yeah.
where I do not enjoy playing bad golf, and I don't want to play bad golf, and I get very discouraged when I play bad golf, and
I've
because
seen it.
I know that I have it in me to play really good golf.
Yeah. It's so tough to find. Oh, what a
Oh
putt.
man,
Talk about that good
stole one
golf.
there.
My goodness. What's your low handicap?
So my low is that 7.5 at the end of a couple years ago. I fired, like, my last 3 rounds were in the 70s, and I felt like I had everything going.
What was your career low score? Do you recall?
Uh, I 75.
Damn. Damn, that's low.
So, and actually, I shot 75 last year in a President's Cup match at my home course. Made a run all the way to the finals. Is that right there?
You going for a bridge?
I will couldn't tell how low or
Yeah.
how far that was.
Not worth it.
Nope.
Oh, we're way over that bridge. Okay, I was looking at the near one.
Oh, no. And I just had everything going that day. I closed him out on 12, so I won 6 and 5.
Damn.
So it's just like, I know that those days are in me. Those rounds. Oh,
On the bridge? Where am I? Huh?
on the bridge.
Oh, just how you draw it up.
What a golf shot.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm sure like a regression is that like just that it just eats at you. Like you know you're capable of like breaking 80 and you fire off a 93 round. It's just like, oh god.
Yeah. Get a little turn to the right. Okay.
Now you said you proposed up at MSU. I feel like I know this question, but I'm gonna ask it because I honestly don't recall, or we haven't talked about it in a long time. What is your ties with Michigan State? You didn't go there, right?
Go. So
I didn't think so. Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't an idiot in saying that, but go ahead.
Just when I was younger, honestly, I started playing with them in like NCAA football 07.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't pass the ball at all. I
Stupid shots.
threw, like, honestly, I still play like this. I threw 5, 6, 7 interceptions a game.
Yep.
So I picked a team that was really good at running the ball, and
Gotcha.
it happened to be Michigan State at the time. So I picked them when I got my PlayStation 2 with NCAA 07 back when I was in like 4th grade, and just kind of stuck with them. What do you got?
Oh, that would have been a hole, man.
Um,
It's
So
fun.
just kind
It's
of
funny how you
stuck
get
with
those
them, and
ties. Yeah. But like you grow
yeah,
up with that and you have that affiliation. It's you don't want to break it. But I mean, no. Are you originally from Mass?
well,
Were you always Syracuse area? I asked you this a long time ago before too, because I know you have the Boston ties.
always Syracuse area. My mother is a diehard Yankee fan. And is hopefully this doesn't find her a obnoxious Yankee fan. And so
Should not
when I
be.
was younger, I decided to just needle her by picking the Boston Red Sox before I really got into sports. And then when I fully committed to being into sports, I decided to stick with Boston everything.
Gotcha.
And
But it was rooted from the Red Sox ties, which was rooted from just almost a bit against your mom.
yes, and she always jokes, where did I go wrong, yada yada.
Yeah.
We are talking about the woman that grew up in the Washington D.C. suburb of Manassas, Virginia,
Uh-huh.
and instead of being a Redskins fan, now Commanders, like her father became a Dallas Cowboys fan. So I'm like, I'm your child. Like I picked the team to bother you. Now what's the play here? Do we
I can't
do
see,
we
so I don't know.
oh, okay. Guess it's part five. I don't all right. So yeah, that's I picked my teams for very weird reasons, but I absolutely have spent the last 20 years living and dying by them. And for better or worse, that has ruled my life.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's been better more often than worse. That's for sure. I'm
Yes.
checking. Okay, I have a golf course for you. Well, I have two. I'll tell you the two that I'm playing for your bachelor party potentially. I don't know how. Yeah, what is going on in this hole, huh? Oh, it's just
Yeah,
like a hard. I think it's just a left turn down there.
yeah, I wasn't sure if you'd be able to lay up short of the
Oh, and
water
then
and
yeah. And where
take
did you
that
go?
like
I don't even
over
pay
the following.
attention.
I went deep. I went over the to the second fairway.
All right, I'm going short, and we can experiment here. Um, so I've played these all before because I went. Oh, you dingus! I can't hit a swing plane for the life of me. I'm so bad at this game. This is why I gave up TGC. I play like 3-4 hours a week. Like I just don't log the minutes. It's just like, and I can't expect to be good if I'm not playing.
Yeah,
Um, so it's not worth the frustration. But and that's
and
why I'm playing
that's
on pro.
so. I don't know if this is going to get me in trouble with the 2K community, but I absolutely hated the release date. I think a February release date is the worst because for me it's the start of golf season, and why am I playing virtual golf during regular golf season? Give
Yeah,
me that August or September release, and then you have all winter to grind and play.
to play devil's advocate, I completely get what you're saying because a large portion of the people that are playing a golf video game are golfers themselves, as opposed to other sports games where you have like Madden, for example. It's right before the football season, but no one's actually a football player except for professional football players. So it's a little bit different to launch at the beginning of the season, but you also have, it's just lined up with the season so well, so you can constantly promote. So I think it just, all the promotion events, like, they're at, the Wells Fargo or whatever tournament they're at.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure they might have a stand at the Travelers or something like that when we go. Um, so from that standpoint, I get it. But yeah, if you're looking to compete, like, yeah, if I have time, I want to be outdoors golfing. Obviously it's what, 10 o'clock at night here. We're not golfing at this hour unless we're at a simulator or something. But
Yep.
be the number.
And that's, like I said, like I get it. I understand it. Um,
I mean, in fairness to them, this game is kicked ass compared to 23. So
yes.
I don't know longevity or sales or what their end game is. I know they have a lot planned. They have whatever 5 seasons or whatever of content planned. So I'd imagine it's a 2K27, and they probably try to hold the same release date in 2027. But who knows? I mean, they changed it from 23 to 25, from a fall to a spring, or February. So it could be similar, but we'll see. Anyways, courses for you. I've been to Baltimore, Annapolis several times, and once was for a bachelor party. We actually went to Ocean City, Maryland, but we go in for me. Oh, you bastard. Played a few courses around the Baltimore area. One is about an hour away from Philly, so I don't know if that's a little bit too far out of the way. Are you driving to Philly?
We are driving, and
Okay.
honestly, because we're staying in Philly, pretty much every golf course is like, I think the shortest is like a 35-minute drive, and the longest is like an hour and 15 on our list
Okay.
that we have.
Maybe it's already the same one then, because I think it's about an hour and 15. Bully Rock.
Bully Rock.
Yeah.
Let me.
Bulle. I don't know if it's actually pronounced just Bull Rock or Bully Rock, but it's a Pete Dye design, and it used to host a LPGA Tour event or championship back in the day. They had an outstanding facility. The course was immaculate, and just like everything about it was just really, really fun when I went. And we are also going again in September for a second bachelor party, because a chunk of the same people are going to be there, and they're like, let's just do this again.
It is not on our
you
list,
dingus.
but I will throw it on the list to take a look at.
These are all Maryland courses, so they're not Pennsylvania courses. So, all right, nice putt.
Thank you.
Oh, I screwed us there. We needed my putt. Oh, let's get a score check here. And the other one, there's 2. Well, let me Google the last one just in case. Phil. Okay. I think this one's going to be very far.
So, is this worth going for it?
Send it. I'll lay up if we need it. Okay, yeah, you're not going to want to go to... Oh, okay, Philly's north of Baltimore. Why did I not know that? I'm an idiot. Yeah, one that I played near Ocean City, Links at Lighthouse Sound, was fantastic, but that's another 2.5 hours south. You're not going to want to go there. Bully Rock is an hour and 9 minutes, and it's like west too, so it's almost like, yeah, it's not really on the way, but like, yeah, it's an hour and 9 minutes from Philly. And then the other one I was going to recommend was Whiskey Creek. That one, yeah, that one's a little bit further. That's actually 2.5 hours away, so you're not going to want that one. Bully Rock is the one I would recommend, that I know of that area. Were you dry? I didn't even see what happened to your ball.
Yeah. I'm just short of the green.
Beautiful. I have yet to hit a tempo. Oh, hit this log. Forward. Yet. Textbook. Great angle in.
Yep.
But yeah. Any have you done much golf travel outside of
No.
like New York,
Nope.
or maybe like just New England and New York, really?
Yeah, I mean I played the ranch with you guys, in Mass. I have played
Good.
a course down in Georgia, visiting my grandmother a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the one we can't say its name, right?
yeah, definitely.
I actually just applied for my tickets for 2026.
Same here.
I assume to get assuming I'm not going to get them again, but that's okay. One of these years. I almost don't want to get them. I just want to keep applying, and then like when everything is just perfect and I, am well, like I just have a lot going on right now, so trying to make a trip to Augusta would be rather challenging. Nice bird.
Thank you.
But at the same time, if I have the tickets, I'm going to make sure I make that happen.
I'm feeling good about this time because I'm like, you know what? It's 2 months from the wedding, so like,
A
I
little wedding
just
present.
yeah, could it be any better? And my grandmother lives just north of Atlanta, so like,
There you go.
I would just go and stay with her. Oh God, 147 feet down.
Dear Lord. So yeah, so it was just the one in Georgia that you've played, really?
Yeah. I played a course in Iowa when I was in like, actually, I know right when it was. It was in 2010. We went out for my sister's college graduation,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I played a course there, but it was like in front of the campground that we were staying in, and nothing special. And I
Very good.
used like my grandfather's clubs. What are we thinking here? 147 feet, but 12 mile an hour into the wind.
Direct headwind.
Yeah.
Let's see, 147 down, so I'd take about 50 off, but you're into the headwind too. So, so you, I'd say a 130 to 140 club. If you're directly
Well,
into the wind, that's what I would go with. What distance were you playing it?
I went with 140, and I
Okay.
was short.
All right, 150 it is.
Yeah.
154 full. Could be the number. Do we have backspin on this? Nope, just dies right out. Okay. Yeah, do you want to start traveling in golf? I mean, obviously it's a much more expensive way to approach the game of golf, but I mean, with considering how frequent you play, like, is there like a bucket list, or is it more just like getting out and playing?
Uh, yeah, I would love to start traveling. I got my fiance into the game of golf.
Nice.
Um, she is a member at the club I'm at now
Nice.
as well. So being able to travel together and play is definitely on the list of things to do. Great birdie.
There we go. We needed it. That's awesome. Yeah, because like you could like, are you setting up for a honeymoon already? Do you have that planned, or is you doing one?
No, so with the fact that we're getting married in May, at the end of May, when it's supposedly supposed to be nice, in this area.
Yep.
This year hopefully was a anomaly. Um, we are going to probably push it off until like February of 27.
Sure.
Kind of get that midwinter honeymoon to somewhere warm to escape the 8 months of winter that we get around here these days.
Beauty. Yeah, I hear you on that. It's sure you would go somewhere warm, but in theory you could bring the clubs and just like get around.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Hopefully, probably just somewhere in like Florida. Get
Yeah.
some golf in down there.
Yep. I played in Mickey Country once before, and I certainly I keep saying I want to. Oh, that was I should have done that too. Um, I keep telling a couple of my local buddies who have kids too, and even the ones that don't really, but most of the ones with kids. I'm like, the families want to go to Disney. Like we let's go and like just schedule a day or two where we can sneak around to golf in too.
Yeah.
Um, that's fun. But yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of fun. I mean, I've been on 7 or 8 bachelor parties, and most of them are golf centric, which has been fun. Um, I'd say the best areas that I've enjoyed golf are Myrtle and Scottsdale because of the quantity and quality of courses combined. So if you do start traveling, I would recommend those. Currently, I still want to go to like try out the Pinehurst Resort. I want to try out Bandon area. Bandon's a pain in the neck to get to, so I don't know if I'll. In theory, I'll get there at some point, but I don't think it's any time in the near future. And then I still want to do some links stuff over in Ireland and Scotland, but similar to Bandon, I bet you that one's more of a bucket list 10 plus years down the line, if anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Get the kids into middle, high school, and
yeah. I mean, I'm still fortunate enough. My wife knows it's my hobby and everything. That she's been green lighting these trips I've been on. I mean, both were bachelor parties, but I was in Vegas a few months ago. Played Wolf Creek. Played another course out there. It was ironically another Wolf course. It was Paiute. They have a resort. I think they have 3 courses over there, but we played the Wolf course.
nice.
So that was fun, but I mean, Wolf Creek was definitely an experience, extremely hard for my level of handicap, and it didn't help that it was my first round of the year, but it was like
Yeah.
very target golf. It was just like fairway, maybe a couple yards of rough, and then it was just falls off into the desert somewhere. So it
Oh.
was just like a pain in the neck to find your ball if you were look at you. Look at that clean card. Did I read that right?
Yep.
Bogey free? Did I dare say
Just
hit?
the opposite of my
All right.
normal golf
So
game.
we don't have any bogeys right now. So we're at least 3
Nope.
under, and I've birdied a couple, so probably 5, 6 under.
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're 4 under. Okay, so well, if it's par 72, that means we're on pace for a 68. We need a birdie out, or unless we get an eagle. But it's possible. You never know.
Yep.
Or I guess that wouldn't break 65. Shoot 65. We'll aim for 65. Yeah, but when you start traveling, it's a lot of fun, especially if you have a good group of people.
That's obviously being 27, it can be.
God damn it. Kick left. Dumbass.
Being 27, it can be kind of hard to have the funds to
Oh yeah, it ain't
get
cheap.
out. Especially having a wedding to plan for. But we
pounded that. Oh, did I use my 3-wood?
I think you used your 3-wood
What
because
a
it had me.
dingus.
It had me with my 3-wood at first as well.
Well, this hole's all you. Maybe you can eagle it for us.
But there's been increasing number of when we started the golf trip up. So hopefully within, maybe not this winter with the whole wedding planning, but the winter after we can get something planned, even if it's like just down to Myrtle for the weekend, long
Myrtle's a
weekend.
good one because I've been there twice, no, 3 times now. One of my buddies actually, he loved it so much he got an apartment there for like 7 months. Like he was single at the time, he was a software developer, and he worked fully remote. And it was around pandemic time, so it was like, yeah, screw it, I'm going to live down there for the winter.
Yeah.
Um, but there's so many courses down there, like hundreds of courses, and most of them you can't go wrong, and it's relatively cheap to get to. So, um, I would highly, highly recommend that as a like starter place for a golf trip. Because, I mean, I've been 3 times, and I would easily go back, and I would still say it's one of my favorite places to go. I mean, that's where my bachelor party was.
Yeah. All right. So
I don't know how. Is there close airports to Syracuse? I mean, does Syracuse have an airport?
we do have an airport.
Like everything's
It is
connecting, I'm sure.
unfortunately it is extra. Damn it! Did not hit
Big kick
my.
left and right. Big kick. Go on. Come on. Yup. Uh-huh. Yes. Simmer down. Okay. I think you're in business.
It is such a small airport that it is very expensive to fly out of, unfortunately.
Damn. I was gonna say, like, as much as I hate it, and I hate to even bring up the suggestion of going it, but it's the only direct flight out of Boston there. Spirit has a dirt cheap one that just routinely goes directly to Myrtle, and it's
Yeah.
fantastic. But I mean, if you can find any other way to get there, I feel like the Myrtle flights weren't that expensive. Like I almost considered taking a. Oh, there's the eagle. Okay,
Bang, bang.
breaking 65 is back in play. We just need a birdie out. Thank God for
Oh.
your play. My God. Bogey free 5 under. I told you I just have not been that good at this game. But, I mean, I contributed on 1 hole, I think. Or maybe I helped with a par or something. No, because you parred everything, so I didn't help with a par at any point. No worries at all. I didn't know you were my father was diabetic.
Yep. Actually, eight and a half years now.
Yeah, that must be fun. Do you have to like take do like a finger prick, or has technology advanced?
So there are systems where they're called CGMs,
Yeah.
continuous glucose monitors that you put on. I do not have one. But so I do the finger sticks and stab myself with needles.
Yeah, that's God. But
So 43 down.
there's worse things, I suppose. I mean, that's coming from me, who's not diabetic, but
Yeah, ebbs and flows
yeah.
of how it is. So 43 down, you're talking 15. So 90,
Into the wind this time.
kind of a cross breeze.
Play a 205. Unless it's a tailing
Yeah.
cross. It's slightly in. I feel like that's gonna knock it quite a bit. But who knows? I shouldn't be the one giving advice here. I'm 9 over. Be the number. Oh, dunk it. Oh. That's it? Okay.
All
What
right.
did you play that as?
I played it probably like 195-ish.
Okay. Hmm. Set. All right.
Sit.
Tried to go
All right.
on the thicker side just to give us a putt at it.
Yep.
We'll see. There's a chance. When's your Philly trip?
September.
What are the dates, out of curiosity?
Actually, the 11th to like the 14th. That Thursday to the.
One moment. Yep, I will be golfing on the 12th and 13th, so I will be at either Bully Rock the 12th or the 13th.
Look at that.
So if the cards line up perfectly, I'm not in charge of booking anything, so I couldn't tell you which is which, but I could certainly tell you down the road. Turn.
Come on.
No.
Oh.
He was making the animation like it was dropping too.
I know.
Oh, that I jinxed your bogey-free round.
Bogey free no more.
Oh man. Let's see if we can finish strong. So we can still shoot 65, or I guess we can shoot 64 if we hole out here.
Yeah.
So what else is going on? Anything good, or it seems like it's pretty dedicated around golf, wedding planning, and just work.
Yeah, that sums up my life.
That's
basically
a great combo. What were you at East Lansing for? I assume a game or something?
Yeah, so we my best man is a Michigan State alum, and he's got a family.
Just go recruiting friends out there at Michigan State.
No, funny enough, he was growing up. He was best friends with my older brother. He's older than I am, and but he went to Michigan State. His dad went to Michigan State. So we became close, and we try and get out there for the season opener because they typically play on the Friday of Labor Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we try and get out every other year
nice.
for the game, and then I joke and say the wedding is for her. I get the proposal, so I wanted to do it in East Lansing. I've turned her into a big Michigan State fan, and so I told him ahead of time and everything, and so he was aware it was going down, and did it at the Botanical Garden. Left that
okay,
open.
so it wasn't at like a game, like you didn't go full all out, like.
No, so we got to campus in the morning, and I had told her. Thankfully, I love her. She can be quite oblivious to things.
Sure.
So I told her, I was like, oh, yuck.
That's what you told her?
Than we wanted. I was like, let's go, let's take some photos in the Botanical Garden. You've always wanted to do Christmas cards, like let's take Christmas card photos. And she was like, all right. And so she got, all dolled up, and I wore a nice outfit, and we went and did it, privately before, and then had lunch and had checked into our hotel, and then we went tailgated, and then went to the game. And a very, I joke with her, a very close second for that day. I went to the bathroom at halftime by myself, and I come out of the bathroom, and there's two options. You can either go out into the stands and just walk up the steps, or you can walk up the ramp, they call it,
Sure.
which is just like a literally just a ramp like you would see in a car garage basically.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I went to do the ramp, and then I was like, you know what, I really don't like doing. Let's go do the stairs, and I turn around, and who do I see taking photos with people? But Tom Izzo. So I got a photo with Tom Izzo the day that we got engaged.
That's awesome.
And so I joke with her, I was like, pretty close second to that.
You should have had like an engagement photo where she's like showing off the ring with Izzo too. Oh, she wasn't with you at that moment.
She wasn't, so I went to the restroom alone, and also I was way too drunk other than to get a very quick photo with Tom.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, congrats again, and
Thank you.
I think we shot a 66 best ball, so not quite there, but was fun nevertheless. Did you play that before? At least in this game?
Yeah, I was gonna say back in the day, probably I have not played it in any of the newer 2K.
Yeah, it's a great recreation, and I mean, I would imagine on Master you'd be hovering around, even par or something like that. So it'd be a fun one to try to break par. You shot fantastic. I mean, 4 under. It was largely bogey free, just the one blemish on 17. So that was fun. And, always good catching up. And I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the series. Is what I'm trying to do is just I've met a lot of good people in this game, and it's fun just shooting the shit. And I feel like the camaraderie and just talking is like one of the best parts about golf. So yeah, thank you for joining.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking me, and glad it worked out and we were able to do it, and it was a lot of fun. And like you said, you play golf for the camaraderie and going out on the course with the guys and this community dating back to just I got into it just after COVID and have met so many great people. Fortunate enough to meet a few of you guys in real life, including yourself, and go out and play some in real golf and play some virtual golf again and had a lot of fun doing it.
Yep, let's make that real life round happen again this year.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you later, Sparty.
Thank you.